Oh, it looks like he's actually playing Protoss. Somebody is in fact playing Protoss this match, so I wonder if this is going to catch ilFX off guard because I don't know
You
if
might not know.
exactly. I honestly think it's going to be really funny. We do see TAWsubrat. He is spawning down here at the 6 o'clock position, and we see ilFX, the undefeated Terran player, spawning at the 9 o'clock position. And once again, I'm just going to have to vote for ilFX because he is on fire tonight.
It's a safe bet. Versus anybody, though.
Oh, yeah.
ilFX is just, he's strong. He's got strong builds, strong mechanics. He's just a solid player.
He's a really good player, especially when it comes to Zerg, but we're going to be seeing a TVP this game, and I'm very interested in seeing how this game is going to be portrayed.
Cannon Rush.
Cannon Rush would be a very, very funny thing, especially if ilFX does not know that Subrat is Protoss, but still, I wonder how this game is just going to be playing. I'm actually really glad we're casting a TVP because I've actually wanted to try and cast a TVP, but let's see if Subrat knows what he's doing when he's playing Protoss here. We do see he is kind of Corona boosting his economy up. We do see Pylon is in fact built, and right now I think he needs to get a gateway up sometime soon. He's kind of just chilling here, and is it going to be laid down? There it goes. The gateway is in fact down.
Nice. His timing is not bad. He dropped it on what, 13 there?
I believe
No,
it was.
14.
I believe it was.
Or no, 12. Was
it 12?
No, it was 13. So a little bit of an econ build. Getting that extra probe, a couple extra minerals there. It does help out in the long run.
That's very true. I honestly think Subrat, if he can just kind of play this game out a little passively, I mean, not passively, I guess, maybe a little more aggressively, I should say. But I'm not sure if Subrat knows exactly how to play a little bit of a Protoss here. I think he's played a few Protoss games in the past, but some of them were actually pretty decent games. I honestly think Subrat could play Protoss a lot better than Zerg. But I know Subrat is.
I believe he used to play Protoss. I think that was his old main race.
Is that
if
so?
I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, it looks like Subrat is actually well aware of Protoss. I was unaware that he played Protoss. I think when I joined the clan a few months ago, he was mainly sticking with Zerg, but actually I'm very interested in seeing how Subrat is going to be playing this Protoss versus Terran game. And in fact, we do see a...
Well, his timing isn't off. I mean,
his timing is not off at all. He is currently boosting his Zealot out after at this gateway here. But if you notice,
late gas.
He did get a late gas, but if you notice right in the middle of the map, we do see a probe actually just chilling over here. I wonder if he's either going to lay a proxy down, or maybe he couldn't get into the Terran base at the time. But right now, he really needs to scout that natural because the Terran player is in fact moving out or expanding right now, and it looks like Subrat is. I think he's going to scout this. No, he's actually building a proxy pylon, so we might see some aggressive play from Subrat here, and that's actually going to be very good for Subrat because right now, if he plays aggressive, he could really catch his Terran player off guard.
If he drops 3 more gates and just pushes in with a 4-gate, I think he might have this game.
He's actually building 2 more pylons, and I'm not necessarily sure why. He only needs to build 1, I guess, but I totally agree. I think he needs to get out some gates, research that gate, that warp gate.
Do you see that micro? He micro. Wow, that was.
I did not.
That was some good micro on Subrat's part. 2 gases, though, by the way.
Two gases. What do you think we're going to see out of this play here?
It's hard to say. I mean, he hasn't dropped a Robo yet. Hasn't dropped the Twilight Council. So, I mean, kind of up in the air there with 2 gases. Usually you're gonna see a Robo by now, or a Twilight Council if he's going Blink or Charge Lots, which Charge Lots wouldn't be a bad idea in this matchup.
Actually, you're very much right. I think Charge Lots would be really good because we only see that ilFX he's got 3 barracks, but he's constantly producing Marines. I honestly think we're going to be seeing a change here. We do see, in fact, that 3 gates have been laid down, so we're going to see maybe a 4-gate push.
That's peculiar. That's weird. 2 gas with the 4-gate. Well, we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I honestly don't know actually as to why that second assimilator was built at the time, because you really don't need that when you're 4-gating, but still, this game is...
Sentry count? I have no idea.
Very bleak. I'm actually wondering if it's going to be a high sentry count. I'm not necessarily sure, but I think his warp gate research is almost completed, but I think his timing was a little bit off, no. Actually, his timing was perfect. He can go ahead and he can warp in some units. We do see a Robo putting down. I don't know if he can support this many buildings as well as that Robo Gate.
Possibly. I mean, ooh, with the expansion though, he dropped a Nexus as well.
I did see that, yes.
So we're not going to see a timing push. We're not going to see a 4-gate timing. I mean, I've all-in with 4-gate and Robo before and won, but it's you can't really expand after it. So we'll see how this turns out.
That is very weird. I honestly would have think if Subrat would have 4-gated, he probably would have done a ton of damage to this Terran guy, to this Terran player here, because we don't see much of an army out for this for a Terran player here, but we do see a third expansion being built here. I honestly think Subrat would have been a lot better off being aggressive at this point instead of getting that Nexus down. But we are going to see how this game's going to be portrayed. I mean, like I said, this game's still very much up in the air. We do see a Warp Prism is actually being researched, or I'm sorry, being built out of that Robo base. So I wonder if we're going to see some drops soon.
Oh, some sentry drops would be beautiful. Oh man, that would be nice.
Especially if he can, use the sentry drop or the sentries to force field his the Terran player's main ramp. That would be very big, and then he could just do a ton of damage inside the base as well as killing off some of these workers and barracks. We do see a lot of barracks being built here in our Terran player's base here. And if you just look at the productions tab, the Terran player is doing really good with his macro. He's actually getting level 1 research for his weapons, as well as stim and combat shields. So this Terran player is going to be really, really good when it comes to getting all those researches done. He's going to be in a very good position, I should say.
A formidable opponent, and it's going to be rough for Subrat to break that. That defense in the front is, I mean, with every upgrade, it's just going to get stronger and stronger. And sooner or later, he's just going to be able to push out and roll over this army that Subrat has.
Indeed, that is the fact. I'm just seeing here. It looks like we're going to be seeing that ilFX is in fact laying down an orbital command for that command center. He's not destroying these rocks here. I honestly think he needs to get these rocks. But we do see a warp in here on the very bottom. We do see Subrat is warping in some units. Oh, but it looks like he canceled it just in time. I think he canceled it just in time, but we also saw that the warp prism was in fact destroyed, and I honestly think that was kind of a bad spot to put it. I honestly think if he would have put his warp prism down kind of away from the side of the barracks, he could have sent that sentry in to force field the main ramp and do a ton of damage inside the base with everything else. But unfortunately, I think that was kind of a bad decision, a bad placement for that warp prism. But I think he only lost the warp prism. He didn't lose any other units, which was pretty good.
I think they were just canceled on the warp in, but there is a perfect spot. There's a perfect spot in the corner of the base that you can warp in with a warp prism.
Exactly.
And not get noticed.
We are going to see that ilFX is, in fact, he does have his army over here at the Zonaga Tower, and he is going to, in fact, move out. We see... someone pointed this out. We see quite a few workers just kind of chilling there in the middle of ilFX's base. I think he's unaware that these workers are all just chilling here. He really needs to kind of get them all back to work, unless he's going to use them. But we do see that Subrat is in fact moving out. We are going to see this big engagement here. We need to see some force fields kind of separate this army off. We're not going to see anything, but Stim is going to, in fact, tear apart these zealots here. And that micro is just really too good for Subrat. I honestly think Subrat...
all in's coming. Look at, I mean, all the buildings are floating over.
My
all
God.
the SCVs are coming. The mules. I mean, it's...
Oh my God.
Mayhem.
Subrat really needs to do a lot of damage here. It looks like he's literally just going all in.
Don't walk into it. Don't walk into it.
And look, if you go back to Subrat's base, ilFX is in fact building more units inside of his base. So I think he's just kind of toying with Subrat right now. But honestly, I think really Subrat, if he would have made a better choice, probably would have been able to been in a really good position. But unfortunately,
he should not have engaged all those workers.
I agree. I honestly agree. I think if he actually
should have went back to his ramp.
It would have been even funnier if he would have pulled back all of his units back to his main, force fielded his main, and killed off all those buildings while they were still there. And then the Terran army can't really get back, as well as all those SCVs. If he would have kept force fielding, he probably would have been able to get a Colossi or something. But honestly, I think we're getting too much into the game here. But I'm just thinking that was a pretty funny thing that